What's going on, people? We are currently 24 westbound en route to Kansas City. Let's go get some of that last of the winter weather. Because I'll tell you what, back home in the south, it's been hot. So we're going to go up here and I think it's, well, right now it's currently 44. Last night I think Kansas City got down to 29. So we're going to go up there and hang out. I'm not ready for that hot weather. But anyway, hey guys, I'm going to make a video response. Or not a video response. Let's just say a subscriber inspired video. He asked me to put together a video on team operation, becoming owner ops, and how to do it. So I got a couple little things I want to mention here. But first, I'll talk about my experience. Whenever I was teaming, when I first came into owner operating, I didn't know this stuff. So when it came down to the wire, me and my brother was like, he's like, you know, whose name is all this going to be in? And we was like, what do you mean? Okay, we'll put it in both of theirs. He's like, no, we can't do that. It's got to be one or the other unless you've got a business. I said, okay. Well, anyway, we came down to the line. We put it in my brother's name. And I was just looked at as a driver, which is cool with me. I don't care about the title. I don't care about that money. But, so that's what we done. If I had to do it over again, this is what I would do. I would get with my brother and say, hey, before we go any further with this, we need to form an LLC. So we'd come up with a name, we'd form an LLC and create a business entity. That way, when we do go to the chopping block and lease on with a company, we can say, you know, the business entity is so-and-so LLC. And from that point on, all money will be dispersed to that business entity. And then you can disperse it out between the two of you. Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, however you want to pay yourself. So that's what I would do. Form an LLC. And you can form an LLC and you be 50% owner and your partner be 50% owner. It is legally binding. Both your names will be attached. So, yeah, that's what I would do. It'd be 50-50 LLC, business entity, and then branch off the payment 50-50 at the end of all expenses. So, say you run $5,000 team operation. Let's say you run $8,000 in revenue this week. Your fuel bill's $2,500, leaving you $5,500. Your truck, trailer, and insurance, maintenance, all your permits, all that stuff comes out to say, I don't know, 35, 40, 50 cents a mile. Just say $2,000 at the end of the week. So now you got, oh, excuse me, let me get my mic back. Say now you've got 3,500. Can you hear me now? Can I hear you now? Okay, I think we're good. Now you got 3,500. Now you disperse that, which would be $1,750, I think. If I'm wrong, don't make fun of me. And now you just pay yourself each $1,750. Meanwhile, in the business account, you've got the money for your truck, trailer, insurance, everything, whatever your expenses may be. And you've dispersed evenly to each of you. So cut yourself a check from your business account, and boom, that's what I would do. I mean, there might be other ways to do that. There may be other roads to take, but just thinking outside the box here, well, thinking from my latter experience to what I would do in a new adventure like that, that's what I would do. Now, let me add to this. Based off my last experience, that if I was to do that again, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't go to a company like Roadrunner. They just didn't have the miles enough to keep a team busy. Now, me and my brother, we wanted to throw 5,000 miles plus a week, and we was doing good to get 3 and 4 because they just didn't have the availability, and it was either that or we didn't have the know-how. So either way, we wasn't making what we anticipated. So that's when I ventured out and got my own truck aside from him, and we just basically kind of split and went our separate way. And we still ran how we ran, you know, had each other's back. But that's the reason why we done that, because we wasn't making the kind of money we should have been making as a team operation. But if I was to do it again, this is what I would do. If you've got experience in brokering and talking to agents and booking your stuff, I'd say go to one of the big good companies that you can book your own loads, you can book your own freight. Jones Motor, Mercer, Landstar. I mean, if you've got experience in the industry, I'd say go that route because you're going to get a better rate per mile. But it all depends on your availability to keep that truck rolling. If your truck's not rolling, it's on you. So if you've got the experience and the know-how, I'd say go that route. But if you don't have that experience, say you're new to owner, sorry about that. I got me a phone call. Anyway, what was I saying? Let's see. I talked about. Okay, I want to go with this. Maybe I'm still on point. If I didn't have the experience, just like me and my brother did back when we went owner op, this is the way I would do it. If I was first in owner op and I hadn't done it before, what I would do is I would call one of these big mega carriers. I know what you're saying. They don't pay worth the flip, but let me tell you, they got plenty of freight, they got plenty of miles. That's when you change, you trade in the high rate for the high miles. And this is going to get your feet wet and let you learn more. It's more of a learning experience. But what I would do is I call the mega carriers, even Swift, JB. I'd probably call Swift and JB first because they got a lot of accounts. And I would call them and say, look, me and my business partner, we're a team operation, but we want to know what kind of available accounts do you have. And they're probably going to be like, well, where are you guys located out of? And they're going to search that area and see if they got any accounts that they can use you to cover. For example, I've got a friend, he lives down in Macon, Georgia, and all he does is a certain account. He'll run a load out from his hometown, and he'll go 300, 400, 600, 700 miles out, deliver to that customer, drop, hook, and come back empty. And he'll do that 2-3 times a week, and just making all kinds of money. And he's with Swift, and he's got a hell of a gig going on. And one of my other buddies just told me last night, he used to be leased on with Swift, and they had an account that him and his buddy ran, and they'd leave out of the home terminal, and they'd go up, and they'd come back, and they'd leave out like Sunday, and that's back Friday morning, and they'd put X amount of money. So, but they was putting the miles down. It was all pre-planned and booked, and I mean, you can't beat that. Yeah, you're not going to get the rate per mile as you would at a smaller company or an owner-operator company such as Mercer, Jones, places like that. But you're going to trade in that for availability of miles. And sometimes that pans out better than a rate per mile, especially if you're needing to collect high revenue and you've got the means to run a lot of miles. So that's what I would do. I'd look into a big company and see what kind of accounts they have and see if they have an account available. And if one don't, be sure to search around. If one don't or one does, be sure to call the next big company, because you never know what trucking company A has versus trucking company B versus trucking company C versus trucking company. Always shop around and see what these guys has to offer, because you might call into one, they might say, well, we got this load right here, it's going here and here, it comes to this amount of miles, it comes to this amount of money, and it might be better than other companies run, which, like one run might be up to the Northeast, one run might be up to Seattle and back, one run might be on the south side of the country running down to San Diego and back. You got to take all those factors in and accumulate and figure out which is going to be more profitable. So, which is going to be more time consuming. You go west versus northeast, it's going to be easier to put down more miles because there's more miles to put and less traffic. But if you go to south end of the country versus Seattle, you got less high winds and less mountains, so you're going to profit more on fuel. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to factor in there. But anyway, that's what I would do, guys. So let's recap there. LLC, form a business entity, branch it off 50-50 to each of you guys after expenses. And if you've got experience, I'd say go to, Jones Motor, Landstar, places like that. Go to an owner-operator company and just do your deal. But if you don't have the experience and you're brand new and you're fresh into the owner-op game, like I was when me and my brother started out as team, I would go to one of these big carriers that's got accounts. I'd be looking for accounts. That's what I'd be looking for. Because, hold on a minute. Oh. Yeah, I'd be looking for accounts and looking for mileage and looking for reliable source loads, I guess you could say. But anyways, guys, that's what I would do. Hope you find me entertaining here, because I'm really just stumbling on myself now. I don't know what to say. Anyways, guys, see you, bye.